how much power did you make on your Rav34 GTR? And that is a good question, but not a question we could answer without giving it a proper tune.
We are back down at Haltech. Scotty is here, aka Tuning Fork. The Rav4 is operating again. It did survive its drive. It survived its shoot. Very, very happy about that. But it never actually got finished. The tune never got finished.
We had one pull or two pulls until it Chernobyl?
That's the first engine we've blown up with you ever. We blew a gearbox with the RX-7, which you guys did a post about recently. And then this is the first engine failure.
We're talking about, is it a blow up if the rods don't come out?
No, it's just a failure.
It's a bit of
and it's not even a good failure because it failed because of how scungy the engine was. It was disgusting.
Yeah, so we just ran out of oil, and I should say ran out of oil pressure and just sad.
Yeah. And that is the perfect reason, change your oil. Service your car because otherwise it glazes up, and this is the kind of thing that happens and they just let go. So we now have a Camry engine. We know that a Camry engine will make about 200 kilowatts of ethanol on this dyno with this basic setup. We made that in the Rav4 once, but then it blew up, so we never really got to explore. I'm actually not interested in making big power now. I'm interested in making it reliable and something you can have fun in and thrash, because this actually drives really well.
So remembering as well that this being a four-wheel drive, different style, right? You don't want your four-wheel drive to be on edge and be at the top of some mountain somewhere or about to do some massive hill climb, and she's tuned to 10 tenths and could blow up at any moment on a factory engine. So why don't we try and make it as torquey down low as possible and as reliable as possible, and then take it out on some adventures.
We didn't get a chance to tune the boost control, so I'm interested in that. I know that Scotty's map is going to be within the ballpark anyway, because it was for the Camry and it was on the last pull. All the numbers look good, but we didn't get a chance to mess with boost control, so it should make about 7 or 8 pounds on gate pressure. We're not going to go more than 10. Stock engine, let's be realistic. So that's what I think we shoot for, and if we get a chance, we might also try and run it up on 98. This does have a flex sensor in it, the Haltech flex sensor, so we can have it on ethanol, which it is now, or adjust it anywhere in between. So I brought some petrol as well, see how it goes. It is a lot of fun on ethanol. Once you have an ethanol car, you often don't want to go back.
Bit asthmatic when it goes back to petrol, but I also understand you can't get it everywhere, so if you are stuck, nice to rough a map into it on petrol so that you can always get out of trouble.
So worst case, we're going to hose another Camry engine and have a bad day. Best case, it's just going to make roughly the same power, or maybe a little less, but we'll now be able to just drive it and enjoy it. So shall we tune?
Drivability. All right, let's give it a crack.
Let's go.
All right, cross our fingers.
Yeah, let's start her up. Let's go. It's like it idles like a factory car.
All right, handbrake off. We'll just roll her up and just get everything a bit warm the dyno up a bit.
So this made 79 stock. That's what a Rav4 makes on a roller dyno. So Scotty has warmed everything up, the dyno and the car, and we've also messed with the boost control. So it looks like we have a 7-pound spring in it.
Yep.
And that is important because this is a stock engine and there's no point getting too greedy with boost. I purposely put a 7-pound spring in it because I figured that's baseline and we'll end up somewhere around 9 or a 10 or 11 to try and preserve it.
Yeah, so if it's got 7, hopefully, so that'll give us a bit of scope to go from 7 to 13 or 14 or 15 or something pretty easily with the pneumatic controller. But just wind up and see where it's happy and see where it's making the most grunt. And the beauty of that boost control solenoid, we can try and bring it on a little bit earlier as well. So not so much the top number, but just making a bit more grunt down low. Like if it can make 10 more kilowatts when the thing was only making, say, 30 in that particular spot. So like you're overtaking power or at 2 grand when you start to step into it. You want 30 or 40 kilowatts at that particular spot.
Oh, 40.
Like, make it up. Yeah, may as well.
It just occurred to me as well that because of where we are in Sydney, we're in Wetherill Park, I reckon within a 3K radius, there is 400 of these engines at Wreckers.
Yeah.
This is the best car to have on a dyno ever.
Well, when you go through these engines that fast, it is.
We're not going to.
You've got to stop going through them.
We're not going to. Okay, cross fingers. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's see where we're at.
You're confident in the first pull?
No, I'm not confident at all. Blew up last time. Of course I'm not.
Oh, let's give it a go. Not my engine. 40 pounds. All right, you ready?
Nope.
Here we go. Fun one to start the day. Wide open. 2 pounds, 1800. Go. Mixtures are good. All I want to do is just get a bit of a feel for what's going on. All right, so with no boost control at all, it held at 3 pounds as it came on, and then as we rev it, up and up and up. That little crack there, 7 pounds and the gate cracked. And then as we kept revving it, it kind of just floated up to 8-ish pounds, give or take.
That's what you'd expect to see.
Yeah, spot on. So we'll bring up our air fuel ratio and just make sure that's kind of in the ballpark, which I'm looking at on the dyno like in real time anyway.
That's what you're mostly focusing on, hey? Because you're going to know if it's running lean, that's where bad things happen.
Yeah, pretty safe anyway. So this is the part we didn't actually get up to this. So we got to 4 grand last time.
Yeah.
We're in the ballpark, and then you can see after 4 grand, we're give or take about 1 AFR rich everywhere.
Yeah, then where you'd like to be.
The next part of the job would be to pull that up and get that all into line.
And do you have air temps there? Were you logging in?
Yeah. Oil pressure.
Yeah, I was watching the oil pressure. It was sat
So we started with
comfortably.
44. It sits nice and flat and up the top at 60. So, yep,
Great.
cool.
Air temps an interesting one because we have a top
Air
mount
temperature.
intercooler.
Yeah. Started at 35. And at the very top of that run, we finished at 41.
Not terrible.
And then it's come down to 35 by the time we've been idling. So if we go to
So that tells me that it's recovering better because when I didn't have the shroud and just had the fan, it wouldn't make a meaningful difference. And I know you've got to move a lot of air, so I thought shroud maybe to move the car. And when I've been logging it, just driving it around, I would see it recover.
So it took 16 seconds after that pull to drop down to the start temperature.
I would say from that, top mount with no shroud is pointless.
There's so many things about top mount. And again, diesel four-wheel drive stuff.
Yeah.
Having fans, high speed doesn't help, low speed does help.
Oh, okay.
So if you're four-wheel driving at high RPM in low range with big engines doing low speed,
Okay.
Higher speed,
Not worth it.
Sealing the ducts, like what you did to this, like makes sense. If you're forcing it through and then it's hitting the firewall going down and out, beautiful.
Yeah. Good. I'm happy with that. I thought it'd be much hotter.
Yeah.
I thought it would be in the 50s. Like I thought it just, and maybe if you really got up it would heat soak right and stay there.
The day is young.
The day's young. Run number 2. Let's go.
Funny shape in that. So 4-ish grand, I'm going to look at the cam control. I wonder if there's something odd going on. 4-ish grand. 4-ish grand, not triggering, doesn't want to be there. Might be a different style of cam control that wants to be.
Potentially cam control not happy because it gets to 4,000 RPM, you expect it to like keep going and it's sort of not really getting there.
So that was changing the cam control.
Which made it stall?
Made it stall, so it's definitely there and it's working.
This just has, I'm always never sure with Toyotas, it's got just an on-off.
Just an on-off, that's it.
No variable.
No variable. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to try off altogether. So a bit of trial and error here.
Yeah.
Because I don't have much experience with this setup.
That's healthy.
Hey Martin, the engine's still in it.
No, the engine's still in it, and it just kind of made the number I was hoping for.
From looking at that, I think what's going in, I think we've got the cam control backwards.
Okay.
I think it needs to be turned on down the bottom, and then we need it to be turned. So we had it so that it was turning on up the top.
Yep.
But in actual fact, I think it wants to be on down the bottom. It just wants to be on from there to there. See where they cross over?
Yeah. So we just worked out that our cam control is just, we need to tune it essentially. And it wants to be on at a certain RPM. That's what we worked out from the dyno, which you can see on the graph. It wants to be on at a certain RPM and then off again, and then it'll just walk away with make power and not be doughy down low, which this was. We had a similar experience with the Camry. Same. So every time you see a Camry and it says VVTI down the side, it's doing something. It's working.
Let's just put more boost in it. All right. So no changes except for 2 degrees of timing.
Oh, you're adding timing.
Yeah.
Happy with temperatures?
What could possibly go wrong?
Are we seeing intake temperatures here?
Yeah, I'm logging it as well. I'm
you're
about
logging it.
65, give or take, is kind of the number where it's kind of settled down to. Data logging, action.
Whoa. You love it, don't you? You love it. You love that. Just give it a little tickle.
What I love
extra 20 kilowatts.
When every pull just draws another line,
Yeah,
when they go over the top of each other, are not that fun.
Don't you love that bit though when it's like 4,000 RPM, it's on boost, you got like three grand to go, and you're like, yeah, let's go. The gate's making noise, everything's working, the smell, like it's fun, isn't it? Like that bit's fun.
This bit's pretty cool. Look at that. See that shape
Stacking
of like
them, mate.
more.
This is the tuner version of stacking dimes. It really is. Ooh, look how good that weld is. Look how good my tune is.
So 200 kilowatts I think would be ideal if we can get the number.
Oh, we already made it, so yeah, whatever you think.
Let's give this a wrap like this.
But boost is same. You've set that, right?
Boost is the same.
And you're comfortable being at 9.10.
10. It's on 10 pounds, and I think letting it go, we might leave it at 9.
Oh yeah, good idea.
All right, you ready for it?
This is the run, people. We're all locked in. Let's see if we can make 200 kilowatts. We're going to get close, I reckon.
Wide open, let it rip.
Let's go. Yeah. Woo-hoo.
Come on.
So close. Keep in mind, that's what a Camry made with a pipe out the bonnet. Because on the Camry, we only got to 180 kilowatts with a crappy exhaust. We had to put a pipe out the bonnet to get to 200.
Yeah,
this has a proper 3-inch in it, but still has a cat, still has resonator, muffler, all that stuff.
So, first things first, health check after that one. Oil.
Pressure
Holding
looks
steady,
good.
looking good, and we'll go back for the idle as well. 18 was kind of the number.
Yeah.
So, yep, happy with that. Which are looking pretty good. We're using 65% of the injectors.
That's the right size fuel system. And you know what I love about that? That's a hacked up plastic fuel hanger with 2 bulkhead fittings and a basic Raceworks pump in it.
Oh, I like it.
And that's it. And by running a new supply from the back to the front and using the original supply as the return, I think that technique with a rising reg regulator is the way to go.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is this is 2.4 litre. The 4G69 that was in 2 Sexy, also 2.4 litre, and then K Series 2.4 litre.
Yep.
They seem to sail well over 200 kilowatts with the same setup.
Yeah.
Quite happily.
Boost pressure about the same, 10 pounds?
A bit higher. I
Yeah.
guess we had the confidence that that's not going to blow up because we've done so much testing.
Yeah.
And also, I guess, front-wheel drive car. Do you think that'll make a difference?
Not as much as you'd think, but I agree that we're both probably a little bit hesitant with this, just that,
Because we've already blown one up.
oops. And that was definitely a sludging thing. It wasn't mechanically a broken oil pump. It didn't throw a rod. It didn't really do anything.
It's just sludge. Just no oil supply, man.
The Honda thing is not a good argument because 10 million of them, you know that it's going to make 320 kilowatts.
True.
And it's going to make 615 newton meters.
It's impressive.
And so,
It's impressive. These are not as strong as K-Series engines. They are not quite the same thing. I've been saying it's like Toyota's version of a K24, and in some ways it is, but it's just not quite as tough, I don't reckon. There you have it. The Rav4 is tuned. 194.7 kilowatts was our final number. We just did 2 runs back to back. It's within the ballpark. It's what it wants to make. 261 horsepower.
it's pretty healthy. It comes on really well. The power can pretty much be explained between the auto front-wheel drive Camry,
Yes.
which the auto would have been sucking a little bit of that juice,
Yes.
compared to the four-wheel drive manual RAV4.
Yes.
Similar-ish sort of numbers. I'm sure that the exhaust would be 10 or 15 kilowatts if we decided to dump it straight out the hood. All makes sense. It's lived. The oil pressure at idles remain now at 18 pounds, seems to be the number. So I was definitely freaking out about the oil in this, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, me
But
too.
after something so unexplainable, to then be like, oh yeah, well, it is what it is. This single drive really, really well. It feels
Yeah.
nice. It idles nice.
And I know this doesn't translate on the internet because all people want is like 2,000 horsepower daily drivers. Not really a thing. This is an excellent car to drive and to be in. Like it all works. It's not overly noisy. It's not overly like aggressive or jerky or hard. It's just fun. I would argue it's like, you know, you get an Evo like that's not too messed with and it's like, it's just fun. This is fun. And it sounds weird. It's a RAV4. It really is.
How does this go? Is it top heavy, like when
No.
you go put it in a corner?
You put the good suspension in it and it's excellent.
Yeah.
It just feels like a WRX or an Evo, seriously. Like a slightly porky one.
And one of the least offensive looking little bubble cars.
Yeah, true. Don't really spend much time looking at it, just drive it. Thanks, Scotty.
Mate, pleasure.
Good on you, man.
Good on you, mate. Thanks
What
for
a
coming.
mad car. 194.7 kilowatts in a mad short wheelbase all-wheel drive 2-door GTR 34 Toyota RAV4 that made 79 kilowatts when it was stock.
Very, very impressive. And as horsepower, that was 261, but little secret for you all, we actually let it cool down and did another run. We ended up with 270 horsepower, which is 199
Nearly
kilowatts.
got there. But heat soak is the thing, people. Intercooler on the top, that's what happens. But at road speed, the temperature comes right down, which is great.
But I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're sitting there, you got one screen over there with your donkeys on it, you got your other screen here with your Mighty Car Mods on it, and you're like, aren't you the world's best four-wheel driving channel? We are your mad dogs, which is why next episode, we are taking you on an adventure of epic proportions.
So big. Yeah.
Proper.
Yeah.
And if we beeped all that, it's because we don't want any spoilers, you
They beat that bit because you said, yeah, didn't they? That's why.
So, next episode, come with us. It's going to be huge. It's going to be epic. And we're going to properly put this car through its paces. Let's go suck on a sausage.